I want you all to close your eyes for a moment. Picture someone you admire. Someone, anyone. Now, what is it that you admire them for? Is it something they achieved or something they overcome? Okay, now open your eyes. Most of the time, we admire people for their achievements, but forget to ask what they had to put in, what they had to sacrifice to achieve it. You and I were constantly surrounded by stories we never stop to hear. Let me open up for a moment. Looking back a year ago, I was a snobbish child. I met so many great, interesting people that I let pass by. I would judge them off how they looked, not opening my heart to the person that they are. I remember sitting in a waiting room for a drama audition. I saw a guy sitting in the corner of the room. I immediately judged him for what he looked like. Just a nerd, I thought. So I didn't think of giving him the time of day. A week later, I got the role. It was rehearsal week. I found the same guy sitting on a high chair in the middle of the room. Turns out he was the director of the play. My eyes had deceived me, and I felt blind and brainless. That was the kind of person that I was. I used to think with my eyes, not my heart and mind. I would judge people based on their achievements and their position in life. And to be honest, it took me some encounters before I realized my blind spot. But when I did, I started questioning myself. How can I see people for who they really are? And luckily, around that time, a teacher gave me a book. The kind of book where the content didn't quite match the cover. It surprisingly rewired the way that I thought. That very book taught me that people have different starting points and that all journeys are different. My mind changed from seeing people for what they've achieved to seeing them for their journeys and the things they had to overcome in life. From walking away from people, I started approaching people, hearing them out and listening to what they have to say. It works like a charm. I made friends with people I never would have if I judged them at first glance. This made me the person that I am. It made me a more empathetic, compassionate person. Recently, I had a conversation with a little girl who was wonderful and energetic. She wasn't scared of talking to me when I approached her. After we talked for a while, she told me that she wanted to become a doctor, that she wanted to help people like her mom, who sadly passed away from cancer. Instead of letting her past hold her back, she used it to push her forward. Her hopefulness filled my heart with joy. Another time, while I was on a volunteer trip at the border of Thailand, I had a conversation with a patient's grandmother. She was a refugee from Myanmar. She told me that she had traveled a long, long way to get surgery for her granddaughter. Her story opened my eyes, and it got me curious about the coverage and accessibility of healthcare in Thailand. I started asking questions to nurses, staff, other patients. I gained knowledge that continues to shape who I am today. And then there was that time while I was taking a stroll in the park with my family. There was a lady walking a disabled dog who stopped in its tracks to play with my dad. She told me that the dog was recovering from surgery and that she was a vet. What a coincidence, I thought. So I told her that I was considering a future in healthcare. I asked her, why did you want to become a vet? And what led you there? As she described her journey, she mentioned a global organization which she volunteered with in her early years. She told me that I should get involved too, as it would be a life-changing experience for me. That led to me starting a club and opening opportunities to students out of school to help people all over Thailand on monthly volunteer missions. By not judging people for their appearances, it gave me unexpected conversations with a child, a patient, a stranger in the park. It gave me hope, knowledge, and opportunity, which you too can find if you just keep an open mind. In these moments, I realized becoming a doctor wasn't just a guess at a career. It was a reflection of who I am. As I started pursuing more and more, the mindset of seeing people not by what they've achieved, but by what they've overcome showed itself to me in different forms. Like this saying, we don't treat the illness, we treat the person. It means to be a good physician, you can't see a patient as a problem that needs solving, but to see them as a human being that needs to be heard and understood. Doctors need to connect with their patients. It changes how patients experience their illness. It builds trust. It encourages honesty. It helps patients feel seen not just as a body, but as a whole person. And that goes for everyone, even outside the medical field. Whether you're leading a team, raising a child, teaching a class, or simply being a friend, the key is connection. If you want to learn how to see people for who they really are, don't just see them for their achievements, but see them as a story in motion. It will make you lead better, listen better. And I know what some of you might be thinking, she's just a girl in high school, what does she know? And that's completely true. I have my whole life ahead of me. But here's what I do know. My story is still unfolding, and so is yours. Sometimes learning someone's past can help you build your brighter future. I've come to believe that people aren't defined by what they've achieved, but by what they've overcome. This mindset shaped me into the person that I am today. And maybe, just maybe, it'll help you too. Before I leave the stage, I want to leave you with something small yet meaningful. Before this, you received a name tag with spots to fill in your nickname and a word that represents your journey. After this, find someone whose word sparks your curiosity. Maybe it's growth, freedom, luck, whatever it is, ask them, what was the journey behind your word? Wherever you are, when you meet someone new, remember, the eyes can't see what the mind doesn't know. Look for the small things and stay curious. Start a conversation, share a story, spark a connection. Thank you.